Sorceress, you were banished by your Akara for experimenting with the elements.
The first thing you are asked to do when you boot up Path of Exile 2 is to pick a class. As of right now, through early access, there are 6 classes you can choose from, with another 6 to be released throughout early access until the game launches come next year. Welcome back, Exiles, to another Path of Exile video, and in this video we are going to talk about everything you need to know about the 6 classes currently in the game. Keep in mind, I'll focus on the classes currently available in early access, then I'll cover the rest of the classes throughout early access individually as they are released. So without wasting any more of your time, let's jump right into it. So before we get into the classes, keep in mind that every class can use every skill. Skills are not locked behind a particular class. Most skills are locked behind either weapons or a specific attribute. There are 3 attributes in the game that each class uses to scale with. That's strength, dexterity, and intelligence. So for example, you can be an archer but still wield a wand and cast spells. You can be a witch and wield a bow and cast bow skills. As long as you are meeting those attribute requirements, you can use that skill. So although I talk about classes being in the game and what particular class you pick, it doesn't really matter. What defines a class is firstly its specific ascendancy and the starting point on the passive tree. Now, I will make separate videos for this, so don't you don't have to know all this for now. So the classes are just basically themed, right? As a witch, of course, summon the dead. As a warrior, you have this big hammer. As a mercenary, you have a crossbow. As a ranger, you have a bow. But that doesn't really matter. You can wield any weapon you want with any class that you decide to pick. So with that out of the way, let's jump into the classes. The Ranger is all about the bow. This is a very versatile and agile class that excels at dealing damage from a distance. As an archer, of course, you would expect her to have a wide range of different arrow types, ranging from ice arrows, poisonous arrows, lightning arrows, and fire arrows. Just to dive a bit deeper into some skills that she has, starting with her lightning skill. So she has lightning arrow which can chain between enemies. You can also combo this with lightning rod. She shoots up an arrow in the sky which plants in the ground. Follow this up with lightning arrow and you can create a huge chain between enemies, dealing some massive electro damage. She has an execute arrow which she flips over and shoots an arrow that impales an enemy, shock the enemy and limit its movement. Another example is her poison arrows. So she has a gas cloud arrow which shoots a cloud of gas over an enemy. She also has an arrow called Toxic Growth. This shoots up a bunch of plants which sprout and deal poisonous damage. So you can combo gas arrow with Toxic Growth. Shooting the gas arrow over the plants causes the plants to sprout up faster, dealing even more poisonous damage, which is amazing. The gas cloud arrow can also be detonated with fire arrow. She has an escape shot, which is one of her ice skills. This lets her flip over and shoot out an arrow that causes the ground to freeze, slowing down enemy movement. She has rain of arrows, which lets her shoot in the sky, summoning down a bunch of arrows, just rain down destruction on the enemy. So if you like bow skills, movement, flipping all over the place, and landing some cooler trick shots, in the Ranger is that class for you. Whilst the Ranger is all about the bow, the Mercenary is all about the crossbow. But this is not your traditional crossbow. Grinding gear games took inspiration from twin stick shooting games. So these are more so guns than they are crossbows, ranging from shotgun blasts, rapid fire blasts, sniper shots. These are guns in crossbow. The Mercenary is very versatile with his ammo types. He has stuff like oil grenades which can slow down movements. Oil grenades can also be set fire, with stuff like incendiary shot, which is like a shotgun blast that lights up enemies on fire. So you can combo this with the oil grenade to cause enemies to catch fire. He has a normal explosive grenade launcher which shoots out grenades from his clip in a huge radius, exploding enemies all around him. He has a rapid fire shot which you can hold down and just let out a bunch of ammunition on the enemy, slowly hitting up the crossbow. The longer you hold it down, the faster it hits up and catches fire. Whilst the ammunition catches fire, any grenades he shoots from this will catch fire immediately and explode as well. He has ice ammunition types as well, stuff like ice walls. You can shoot up ice walls that reduce the enemy movement and blow up those ice walls as well to cause some massive damage. He has artillery ballista, as you can summon, that shoot up turrets of fire. that explode on enemy contact. He has galvanic blasts or electro grenades which can shock enemies and slow down the movement. Just like the ranger, he has different armor types. The ranger has different arrow types, while the mercenary has different armor types that you can mess around with. Also has a gas grenade which works similarly to the archer's gas arrow, can be set on fire as well and cause an explosion if combined with his incendiary shot, which shoots out fire pellets. So if you don't like the ranger, you don't like a bow, you prefer shooting or you prefer guns, then the mercenary is that class for you for sure. If you don't like ranged combat and prefer to get a little bit more close and personal with your opponents, then the monk is that character class for you. The monk is all about melee combat. Very versatile in terms of movement, can easily get in and out. However, they are very squishy. That's something you need to keep in mind. It's all about personal 1v1 combat. However, he does have some pretty good ranged skills as well. So the monk, like I said, is all about mini combat. He has some really good tools like Tempest Fury that lets him just charge against opponent, doing some combos with his staff that cause lightning damage and cause an electric shock at the end of the combo. He has Ice Strike, which is a 3-hit combo as well, just like Tempest Fury, but this is shorter and does ice damage instead. He has the Tempest Bell that lets him place a huge ass bell on the ground that rings if you attack it, dealing some massive AoE. This bell can also absorb any element you inflict on it, so if you do ice damage on it, it can absorb ice. If you do electro damage on it, it can absorb lightning and spread that damage whenever you attack it. This is the class I'm actually playing right now. The melee combat just feels so smooth. So some other skills that he has are stuff like Glacial Cascade, where he shoots out ice from his staff and it does a lot of damage at the tip of the spikes, right? So he does have some quite ranged options as well. He has things like Vaulting Impact, which lets him like vault throughout the air and does some massive stun damage to get in. This is very good because you can like vault in, then drop a bell into your combos, which does some pretty good damage. So if you like that quick, good melee combat, then the monk will be that character class for you. Another melee option you have is the warrior. Now the warrior is the complete opposite of the monk. Whilst the monk is very versatile and quick, goes in and out very quickly, the warrior is all about high damage with his huge ass hammer. He attacks slow but deals very high damage. He hits super hard. He also has a lot of armor, so not as squishy as the monk is. He's a heavy defensive unit. So if you prefer a more bulky character, then the warrior is that class for you. The warrior can also hold a shield and is able to raise a shield and actually block incoming damage. So if you do like that shield gameplay, hammer and the shield, then the warrior will fit that playstyle. He has amazing tools like Earthquake, where you can, hit the hammer in the ground, cause an explosion of earth on the ground. Kind of think of it like an earthbender, right, from Avatar. If you like that fantasy, like that playstyle, then the warrior has a bunch of skills like this. He has a totem, where he plants a totem in the ground which periodically pulses. You can combine this with the earthquake skill, which periodically causes earthquake skill to explode from the ground until the totem explodes. He has another awesome skill called lava fizzles, where he can hit the ground, causing the ground to erupt, spewing lava from the ground, then attack that lava by doing other skills such as stampede, where he like charges forward against the enemy with his shield. If you charge over the volcanoes, it causes more eruptions, so you can do some pretty good combos. There's a bunch of war cries that empower his hammer skills as well, so you can have that heavy, hard-hitting melee combat. Then the warrior will be that class for you. If you don't want to do the work on your own, consider playing the witch. The witch is all about summoning the dead, from zombies to minions. You can end up having a huge army playing with this class that just tanks all the damage for you, or you sit in the back casting spells and curses. Now the most interesting thing about the witch is it's not just any random army. You can actually customize your army, which is very fun with this class. So for example, let's talk about a skeleton army. So her skeleton, she has basic skeletons such as the warriors. These are your normal sword and shield skeleton armies, very good at tanking damage. She has arsonists that actually throw little bombs that do damage. These guys actually explode your minions as well when they are on low life, causing some good fire damage. She has skeletal snipers. These guys stand out at a distance and snipe your opponent from really far. They also have command skills, like your sniper dude can have a skill on their own The snipers have a gas arrow command, so you can command them to shoot an arrow that causes poison damage over time. So you can customize your army, which is pretty fun. She also has a skeletal brutes, which are like huge big skeletons that do massive damage, right? If you're fighting like a boss, you might need some of the big guys for the big damage. So it's a really fun class. If you just love the minion gameplay, you love zombies, all that stuff, then the witch will be that class for you. Now the witch isn't only locked behind summoning, she actually has curses, hexes, even casting spells. She has access to most of the stuff that the sorceress has in terms of spells. So if you want a combination of having good spells and, you know, zombies, minions, and that, then the witch will be that class for you. And lastly, we have the sorceress, which is your average spellcaster archetype of these ARPG games, ranging from lightning spells, fire spells, ice spells. She has it all. If you prefer, you know, the sorceress gameplay, having ranged combat as well, but instead of arrows or crossbows, you're just casting spells, and the sorceress will be that class for you. She has some pretty good spells, generic stuff you find in RPG, such as a normal fireball, right, an ice fireball. She's got lightning arc where she shoots out lightning that has a chance to chain or bounce between enemies. She has a very strong skill called Comet, which basically summons a huge ass space rock that does massive damage. She's got Arc, where she fires a bunch of lightning projectiles that bounce all over the ground and have a chance to bounce on terrain. You can combine this with stuff like a firewall. So firewall is a skill where she places a huge wall of fire. You can shoot projectiles through that wall, and the projectiles will actually catch fire and deal fire damage as well. So these combos are something that's really good about this game, the ability to combo different skills, cause more different reactions, and deal more damage. The Sorceress is going to be your average spellcaster, one of the most popular archetypes in the game. If you do love spellcasting, then the Sorceress will be that class for you. So these are all the classes available in early access right now, and like I said, I will cover the rest of the classes as they are released individually, so look forward to that. Grinding Gear Games have done a great job at breaking down these classes. I'll leave the link to the description in the original video. If you want, you can just check it out on your own. If you want something more in-depth, then I advise you, please watch that video. If you've made it this far, that means you have shown interest in this game, and if you haven't seen that video, please check it out. It's very important. So just a summarized look at the classes in Path of Exile 2, but again, you're not locked to particular skills. Any class can use any skills as long as you have the right weapons for it or the right attributes. So thank you so much, Exile, for watching this far. If you've made it, please like and subscribe. I am covering Path of Exile 2 content that just started. Please support your boy. And thank you so much, any of you Tekkeners that have made it this far. This game is amazing. Please give it a chance. I swear you will not regret it. Thank you so much, and as usual, may the frame data be ever in your favor. Stay sane, Exile. GG.